When I first opened my Discord up to the public, I had only a few rules, maybe 5 or 6, a handful of little rules that were very kind of self-explanatory in my opinion. Things like don't spam, for example. And as people joined the channel, I had to expand on those rules and actually define what that meant. Because to me, things like shitposting and memes are spam, but to a lot of people, I guess they don't think of it like that. Another example would be, I said keep the air clean and welcoming. Basically, don't be a dick to people. And then I had to define what all of that meant. And now I have a paragraph of rules instead of having one sentence. And that continued, and the rules had to expand and expand until, as you see now, we've got 6 pages of rules. That actually caused more problems than it solved, because the more rules we had, the more I tried to define what exactly you weren't allowed to do, the more complicated it became for people to understand it, and a lot of the times people wouldn't read any of it anyway because there's too much. The mods were confused about the rules, and this led to people being very unhappy with how the whole thing was run. Numerous people left the Discord out of frustration, due in part to the rules themselves, and almost all of the mods left eventually. So I dropped all of that and I tried a different approach, once again going back to just having a handful of very small rules. And instead of trying to strictly enforce all of these rules, I basically said, you need to moderate yourself. If you don't like someone, then you need to block them. Now, I do have a handful of mods, and basically their only job is to keep illegal stuff off the Discord. Now, because I've already experimented with it, it's basically impossible once you have a certain number of people to have mods that are cracking down constantly on the eternal battle against things that would be breaking the rules. One thing is, I really don't like memes. I hate how conversations get completely taken over by people posting memes back and forth. But I don't want to say no memes, because then I'd have to have moderators enforcing that rule. So what I did instead is create a channel for memes and another channel for shitposting for similar reasons. Now, you can post whatever shitposting or memes you want, including things that most people don't like Nazi memes or whatever. Because once again, if I said no Nazi memes, then I would have to have people constantly cracking down and watching those channels and banning people who posted those memes, and that just leads to problems, and it's a never-ending battle and not something I want to deal with. And letting people do basically whatever they want, within reason. Obviously, they still can't post illegal things, and I don't want them to post real-life pornography. But letting people kind of post whatever memes they want and have whatever trolly, memey conversations they want kind of keeps it a free speech area, which I'm perfectly okay with because I'm all for free speech. But it leads to certain problems. One of those problems being that now we have people posting their Nazi memes in channels where they're not supposed to. And this is the Not Safe at Work Furry Art channel. Obviously, this is not a place for memes. And this isn't just a conversation that evolved and got to this. This is this guy clearly trolling. He just comes into the channel, says, hello, everyone, and then immediately starts posting his Nazi memes and starts talking about the KKK. Now, I understand where some people are coming from when they say you shouldn't have this on your server because it might in some way promote the KKK or Nazis or recruit people to the alt-right or whatever it is people, are afraid of. I personally think that a lot of this is just trolling. It's not active recruitment to the KKK. It's just people trying to get a reaction out of others. And the other option is that not so much it's trolling and not so much it's recruitment, but just kind of counterculture expression. They post it because they're not supposed to post it. One of the reasons I understand this is because it's kind of similar to what I do with my videos. I talk about issues that normally people aren't supposed to talk about, or I have opinions that I say, or I have a perspective that I want to get out that is something different than what people are accustomed to. And this is kind of the same thing. This is a little more trolly. So this is obviously a problem because even if I allow these things on my servers, obviously I don't want people posting Nazi memes in the porn channel. The porn channel is for porn. But because this is sort of a counterculture expression, having channels that specifically say you're allowed to post this stuff in here isn't going to solve anything. Because if they're allowed to do it, then they're not going to want to do it. They're only doing it because they're not allowed to. And because I want to have that sort of free speech feeling in my server, I can't just ban anyone who has a name like Black Hitler because I expect that they're going to be posting Nazi memes somewhere, although that's almost always the case. So I have this dilemma. Do I cater to the people who say that this sort of thing shouldn't be on the server, which makes it kind of unwelcoming because then there are certain things that people aren't allowed to do and aren't allowed to say. And who's to say how far you go with that? We might say no Nazi memes, but it's saying things like Confederate flags don't make you racist. I have one, it's fine to have a Confederate flag. Can you say those things? And from experience, I know that it's basically impossible for me to create a set of rules that clearly define what you are and aren't allowed to say. So I can't really do that. On the other hand, if I let people do whatever they want and don't moderate at all, it's going to create a negative atmosphere in a different way. People will come to the server and just see it's full of Nazi memes and then leave. And if we look at it from a certain business perspective, it does hurt my income to have people posting Nazi memes on the server. Because if people are leaving the server, that means that they're probably not interested in being a customer. What I mean by that is when they watch my videos or watch my streams, they're giving me ad revenue. If they decide to support me on Patreon, they're giving me money. So when I think of it from a purely business standpoint, it does hurt me to have things like Nazi memes on the server, but it also hurts me if I were to ban all the people posting Nazi memes, because then people wouldn't feel like it's that welcoming free speech kind of server. And in a way, this has kind of made me understand why a lot of social media has been doing what it's doing by basically cracking down on anything that might be considered racist or Nazi or whatever. From a certain perspective, it does make sense to get rid of all of that, because if you don't crack down on it hard, then you get this, which is people posting this sort of thing in places that they're not supposed to post in. They have a specific place that they can post it, but they post it elsewhere because I'm not cracking down on them. Basically, it spreads. If I were to just immediately ban anyone who came into the server with a name like Black Hitler, then this would never happen. It's kind of funny to me that the people who cry the most about freedom of speech are often the people who sabotage their own ability to do so, the kind of people who post Nazi memes. So I don't exactly have a solution for this. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I just wanted to share with you all kind of what's going on and kind of my thought process, because I think it is an interesting social experiment, I guess. And I'd also be interested to see what sort of advice you guys have in the comments, especially if you've run your own Discord server. So I look forward to reading some of those. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.